Guys, this is Sydney here from America's Heroes Comics and Games, coming to you with previews for books coming out March 16th of 2016. The first thing I gotta let you know is that books have been delayed by 24 hours for us, which means we usually get our shipments on Tuesday so we can check them in and have them ready to go when you guys first show up. But the truck is not going to get here till sometime Wednesday morning. We're not exactly sure. We're hoping Wednesday morning. It depends on how UPS runs. But the books will be delayed being put out on the shelf. So that means you might want to call and check or before you guys come in. Hopefully, if the truck comes in by 10:30, we'll have everything up by 11:30, 12 o'clock at the latest. If it's later than that, we're not sure, but you know, they hit us with everybody. So this is like all the stores in the general area got hit the same way. So like I said, just be patient with us tomorrow. We'll get it together. Okay. So let's get started. We do have some good books. We got some interesting things. Just going to give you a quick rundown of some books I thought you might be interested in. So, and again, I don't have the books in my hand, so I got to do this with the computer. So here we go. Hope you guys can see that really well. First up is Ghostbusters Deviations One Shot. This is a book where the IDW is starting to do these deviations to where it's like a what if. This one is in a world where the Ghostbusters didn't cross the streams in the final battle to win. So you're gonna see what happens in a world supposed to take place 31 days later. Everything's going to hell, and the Ghostbusters are trying to claim back the city. So if you're interested in seeing what would have happened if they had to cross the streams, definitely a way to go with it. Next up is International Iron Man #1. If you haven't been keeping up with Tony Stark's story in the comics, Tony Stark found out that he's adopted. He's not the birth son of Howard Stark. He has an adoptive brother and everything else he didn't know about. So Tony is trying to figure out who he is, where he comes from, and everything else. So he's going to go on a tour around the Marvel Universe, trying to figure out, visiting some places. They said that he hasn't been before, some dark locations. And he's also going to have his new ally, Dr. Doom. If you read the first story arc of Invincible Iron Man, you know about him and Doom kind of working together. So this is definitely worth checking out if you're still interested in finding out more about where Tony came from and possible his friendship with Doom. So definitely worth checking out. Next up is Legends of Tomorrow. They're taking the name from the show. It doesn't really have anything to do with the DC Legends of Tomorrow TV show. This is more like an anthology book. It's got 4 stories. I'm not sure how long this is going to run, but you're going to have Firestorm, Sugar and Spice, Metamorpho, and the Metal Men in these books. And each of them is going to get a story. They're going to start. I know the Firestorm story they put in the previews is he's going to save Jason. And they've got to find some research. So that's the only one they gave a little information on. But if you're interested in Legends of Tomorrow, you know, some of these characters may show up in the next season of Legends of Tomorrow. Maybe that's what they're building towards. So it's #1. You might want to check this out. Next up, for all you anime and manga fans, One Punch Man. One Punch Man has been hot. It has been a solid manga series. It's been a solid anime series. If you watch the anime, you know that this is in the anime. This book is where he fights the Deep Sea King. So, if you haven't checked out One Punch Man, it's worth watching, and you might even get into the manga. It's definitely a really fun book, and it's a really great TV show. So, we've had a lot of people waiting on this one, so that's why I'm putting it up, because there are people looking for this. So, it's coming out tomorrow, guys. Next up is Rausch Limit Monatic. This one is supposed to be, this is the 3rd story arc for this particular series, and it's supposed to be the final arc. The world is in chaos, and, you know, end of the world stories, and you're trying to figure out how to save it and what to go about doing with this. I haven't read the first 2 chapters, honestly. Reading the synopsis of this one, made me want to go back and read it, so I'm definitely going to do it. But if you guys been reading it, you know, definitely another one worth checking out. We are also getting, for those of you who said that you were going to wait for the whole thing to be in one compilation, here it is, Secret Wars hardcover. This takes care of the main story that was the Secret Wars. If you are interested in this one, you know, if you waited and said you didn't want to get all the books, you wanted to read it all in one story, well, it's here, coming out tomorrow. If you want to know what kickstarted the new Marvel Universe and what happened to the Fantastic Four and everything else, this is your book. Next up, and this is one a few people have been waiting on, this is Superman number 50. If you guys have been reading Superman or even keeping up with Superman a little bit, he had his powers were waning. He wasn't really Superman using his powers anymore. Well, he's back at full strength, has all his powers, and he's also going to meet the pre-Flashpoint Superman, which, again, if you guys have been into the Superman books, you know that the Superman Lois and Clark series has been dealing with the fact that the Superman from the pre-Flashpoint has been living on the Prime Earth for quite a while, since they first fought Darkseid. Him and Lois and their son Jonathan have been there. Comes from events that happen in Convergence. So this book is actually going to be their first meeting. The elder Superman has been watching in the shadows and been doing things. If you, like I said, reading Superman, Lois, and Clark has been a good read. You're seeing him do stuff behind the shadows, stopping threats. You're always questioning, there's things that happen and that didn't happen to the Superman. Well, that's because the pre-Flashpoint Superman has been stopping some stuff. So if you're interested in this meeting, definitely worth checking out. I think this should be the last book that I'm on the previews, is Transformers Deviations number 1. It's one shot 2, just like the Ghostbusters was. In this one, this is a world where Optimus never died. You're going from the movie, the original Transformers cartoon movie, where Optimus Prime didn't die fighting Megatron. So the whole question is, would the Autobots have risen? Would they have been able to stop Unicron if Optimus had been there? Or was it always Hot Rod's destiny to become Rodimus Prime and save the day? And so, if you're interested in what would have happened if Hot Rod or Optimus didn't die, this is definitely in for you. That is it for the previews. And so we've got some other books coming out. Deadpool Mercs for Money number 2 is coming out. Poison Ivy's coming out. I know people have been saying they've been doing that. Spider-Woman number 5 is coming out. Just to name a few, Power Man and Iron Fist. Green Arrow number 50, which has a really cool cover on it. And even Extraordinary X-Men number 8, which is the first part of the Apocalypse Wars. So, like I said, a lot of stuff's coming out tomorrow. Like I said, give us some time. We'll have everything up as soon as we can. So, thanks again, and we will see you on the day. Bye.